I had a good meeting with the MP, and he's written right on the issue. Thank you very much.
Page or Chris, please.
I think it's stated that in the
Got it in
But you've not, you're home based at the moment then?
Yeah.
Please, if you don't mind. It's just how's
What you do, yeah. You might not get back. You might not get back.
I might be quarantined.
Quarantine, yeah. Yeah.
Fortnight in Dubai.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, man.
Are we ready? Right, 6 o'clock, folks. I'd like to welcome you to this Parish Council meeting. Start with an agenda item 1, apologies for absence.
I've got two chair. I've got Councillor Gregory, medical, and then I've got Councillor Weston, who's ill.
Thank you. Now, please.
Sorry.
Item 2, confirmation that the attendance registers been signed.
Doing the round, I don't know who's got it at the moment.
Just left it for a year.
All right, can I just check that everybody else has signed? Yeah, everybody other than Councillor Richards, so I don't know.
It's probably,
Yeah,
just 25 on it.
that's fine.
Item number 4, notification of number 3, notification of unregistered declarations of peculiar interest. Thank you. Item number 4, notifications of considerations of dispensations. No, thank you. I've got a request to council to move an item on the agenda to the next item, please. I'd like to move the chair's report. I propose it. Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
No.
Need to vote on that.
Yeah. Can I vote? All in favour?
With what's been moved.
So I'll explain the reason. Against? Abstain? Thank you. Right, if you bear with me. Right, at the last council meeting, things didn't go well, the least to say. I'd like to offer my apologies for what happened and what I did on that council meeting. I'd especially like to offer them to Councillor Dixon, Maxine, Councillor David Dixon. I'd also like to offer my apologies to the rest of the council and to the public. I behaved in a manner which wasn't fitting for a chairman. I have learned from that. I've taken advice, I've taken instruction. I hope you will support me in being the chair and continuing. I've also want to draw a line under what's been going on from this council and move forward. I today have had a letter from the monitoring officer. I believe all this animosity and atmosphere, negative atmosphere at the council started around the vote of no confidence. So that's my beliefs only. Mine started before, I wasn't aware of it. When the vote of no confidence went in, 3 days later, I received an official complaint from Sarah Sturberg. I'm going to read this out because I think it's in the public interest, like it was in the public interest to read them out before. So, this is the complaint. We wish to raise concerns about the constant undermining of Clowne Parish clerk. He is continually being undermined and spoken to in a terrible manner by Councillor Walker. From the very start of the council position that I took in May, I will not say the names, I had Councillor Walker on the phones with conversations of distrust, accusations with regards to Parish Clerk. I have even had an occasion where Councillor Walker's mother has approached me in the foyer of the Ark asking what I thought of the clerk and stating how he is not to be trusted. Excuse me, I do need to keep ordering this. We would also like to raise concerns issued with Councillor Walker misusing the council's resources in instruction of Human Resource Company, in which Councillor Walker has stated in emails that as a council we are unhappy with the clerk. So how do we get rid of it? This is an abuse of his position to pursue his own personal vendetta against the clerk. Councillor Walker is not treating people with respect. Councillor Walker has sent some correspondence from the Human Resource. Councillor Walker has had some correspondence sent from the Human Resource Company sent to his home address. The Human Resource Company has also been instructed not to speak to anyone other than Councillor Walker, the chair. The running of this parish council by councillor in the absence of the clerk is breaching various elements of the code in relation to issuing an email for the next meeting. The notice was unsigned, the public notice was unsigned, and Councillor Walker chaired and took the minutes for this meeting. Councillor Walker also would not allow to speak at the meeting using the point of order. Despite no one opposing your speaking, Councillor Walker failed to treat me with respect in not allowing me to speak at this meeting. As I hope you can all understand, that doesn't sit very nice. That's not a nice thing to have over your shoulders. And that's been going on since the 20th of January. Today I've got a reply from Sarah Sternberg, the monitoring officer, and the solicitor to the council. I write further to my letter dated the 20th of January 2020 when I informed you that I had received a complaint against you as a councillor, Clowne Parish Council. The nature of the complaint was threefold. Complaints of disrespect towards the clerk of the parish council. Number 2, treatment, disrespect of a councillor in this room at a council meeting. Item 3, the appointment of HR company and how it is being managed. She goes on further, in accordance with the council's procedure for members' complaints, I have consulted with the council's independent person. Having considered the evidence in full, in consulting with Clowne Parish Council's Code of Conduct for members, the independent person is in the view that there is no substantial evidence that there has been a breach of code. I am in agreement with this and the decision, and therefore I am not proposing to take any further action in connection with these complaints. The matter will be closed. If you feel you have failed in dealing with this complaint properly, then next step will be to make a complaint in writing to the local ombudsman, and the ombudsman can be contacted as follows. I hope each councillor around this table can now draw a line under this and start moving on. We've got one thing in common around this council. Every single one of you, everyone, wants to do the best for Clowne. That's what we got elected for. Personal vendettas, the atmosphere of aggression has got to go. It's got to stop. And I hope now we can draw a line under it. I've apologised for my actions. I hope the councillors who sent these complaints in would take the opportunity to apologise, not to me, because I'm the chair of the council, that's how I can take that. But the bad feelings amongst councillors around this table, because of these complaints, has started to make an impact on people. I want to stop it. I'd like assurance from everybody that we can start working together and moving forward. And this is it, done.
I was one of the named people that actually put this complaint forward, and I make no apology for doing so. Okay? We've obviously had a result on it, and it's drawn a line under it. That's fine. But I make no apologies for actually putting the complaint in.
So we can move forward now, and we will start working.
I'm quite happy to move forward.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, could we start by putting that camera so that it takes the whole of the council meeting, not directed at...
Excuse me, this is my camera. I should do with it as I wish, not as you
Excuse me,
wish.
No. We have drawn a line under it. This council is getting back to its roots. We're going to be good. We're going to work together. We are going to work together. And moving on from that, we had training from Dalk. I'm sure everybody will appreciate our thought was fantastic. And they mentioned putting a few ground rules in. I don't want to treat everybody like children. I don't want to come across as I'm doing this and that. It's simple. So if we could raise our hands, I'll come to everybody. Everybody will have a turn. Everybody will have a say. Don't want talking over each other. Don't want shouting. I won't shout at you. If we shout at you, then I want you to tell me. Right? So that's it. That's all the ground rules we need. So no talking over each other. Hands in the air. Let's have a discussion. Let's get doing something for Clowne. So I hope you will support me in all that what I've just said.
You'll get support.
Thank you. Right. Moving on to some council business. So yeah.
Your answer is should move to the as we do with 10.1, 10.2. Chair's report. 10.1. Purchase of 2 friendly benches with a budget of 1,500 plus VAT. I'd like to open this up for discussion. Has anybody got any views on it?
Alan, the more benches we get in Clowne, the better. The price is irrelevant, the money can be raised, but for years and years and years, there's never been benches in Clowne. We started last year with the ones in the Senate, in the War Memorial, they're great. There's other people in the village trying to get benches put back where they were originally. They're doing a great job. The more benches we can put in, because older people, when in the summer when they want to sit down, there ain't no. So my opinion is the more benches we get, the better, and that's my personal opinion.
Thank you, Barbara?
Yeah, I've seen these, oh sorry,
Okay.
yeah, I'm probably looking at the same thing you do, but these friendly benches are fabulous, aren't they? Yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Leslie?
The only thing that I think about this with the friendly benches, and I do think they're fantastic in principle, is I think they're expensive. You know, I think that we could have signage made that we can put on benches that we've already got. I have already included it onto the next agenda, but these are commemorative benches for VE Day and VJ Day, which I was going to bring to the next meeting. But I just think for £150 we could have the signage made that could be added to existing benches or more around the village and moved, because not everybody wants to sit on a friendly bench as well. It's
No, that's
something
true.
else that we've got to consider.
I have got a little bit more information what Steve's passed on to me. It's a little bit more than £1,500. There's a price, Steve.
Would anybody like to have a look at these? We'll just pass it round. Steve?
For one bench, I hope everybody sees that, it's £10,428. 10,000. Is everybody aware what the concept is?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Steve?
Oh, sorry.
Barbara?
Sorry?
Just let Steve have a seat, please.
When this was raised, I did a bit of research and a bit of Googling, and the friendly bench is actually a trademarked particular product. You have to go to a specific supplier. It's not something that you can just knock together yourself. And in essentially, it's a meeting. It's a meeting place that is quite substantial. And you think 10,500, but and I'll pass this round for members. But it's actually a full seating system with seats on 3 sides, all enclosed in with planters and flooring. I mean, they're quite big, you know, sort of 3 metres by 3 metres. They're not. It's not just a bench for folks to sit on, because you can pick those up for between 600 and 1,000, depending on the quality and type of bench that you want to go for. But the friendly bench, which is what I understood the sort of concept to be that you wanted to consider, is quite substantial. I would have thought something of that size as well would require planning permission wherever you decide to put it. So there are these other issues other than just, you know, agreeing the principle of it. Do you want to spend that amount of money? Then obviously there's the planning side, and there'll be a cost of planning and then officer time in making it happen. But that's why it's before you today. So do you want me to pass it around?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Has anybody else got any ideas or views on it?
All I can say, it's just an eye-watering amount. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
You got anything to say about it? Anybody else?
Oh, that's in all that size. No,
That's it.
No, basically, we need more benches in Clowne, but not at that sort of prices. There must be cheaper benches to put in and around Clowne.
Sorry, I didn't.
Can I just add as well, those benches that everyone's having a look at, those are £650. So, you know, we could put some of those out and still put some of the friendly signage on benches that we already have as a compromise. Or just have the signage. I just think it's expensive to spend so much money.
I mean, looking at the picture, for me, that isn't a bench. That's not a bench. That's an enclosed space where
Seating
people
area.
can go and you know, have a chat or something with someone.
I think that's why it's called the friendly bench. It's
Yeah.
like a social inclusion
Yeah.
type, and the folks
I
just
think
come and have a chat.
if we were to go for something like that, I think we should find something cheaper. And I think that's a good idea. Just the price is a bit steep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Size a bit big as well. Planning permission.
Yeah, we would need planning permission for
Go
that.
ahead. Andrew, come on. You want to say anything about it? Come on. What's your views on
I think
it?
the idea is a fabulous one, but you don't need to spend £10,000. Could you not just have 2 benches like that and some signage?
Yeah, my view on the friendly bench is it sounds like a great concept, probably not the right thing for the village. I think it's expensive. I think it will probably, knowing the antisocial behaviour that we get in the village, it could get vandalised and then it's going to cost us to put right. I think buying less expensive benches would be in my opinion, the right way to go.
Thank you. Councillor Dixon?
I don't know. I think the other thing is that we'd probably have to consider is where we could locate these benches, because we would probably, it wouldn't be on parish-owned land. We'd have to go to BDC for permission, or whoever the land belonged to actually put these benches in. I'm not sure whether there's a cost involved in that.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I think, is everybody, I think we're all in agreement that £10,000 is way too much. The idea, I think it was Nick Holshaw or somebody on Facebook who put it up, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. It looked brilliant. But looking at the price of what Steve's showing tonight, I think it's out this, absolutely, it's not even going to do it, not even going to go there. But just thinking off top now, thinking ahead, could it be something this council could design and work with a local craftsman and build something itself? Just a thought.
Chair, there's an engineering company just at the top of Crestwell Road on the left hand side of the car lodge shop. Yeah, really good mate. He makes bespoke gates, and some of the stuff that he actually turns out is really nice. And if we wanted to get really bespoke about it, there's a friend of mine called Joseph Dawes. He's actually an ironmonger, and he designs armour for Leeds Armoury as well. He's been quite happy to get involved, I'm sure, it's some kind of community project.
Yeah. I think that might be a way forward. If
More
we could,
organic, isn't it?
yeah, if we can do
community led.
if we could do it as a community project, maybe offer tenders out or ideas to local companies, see what we can come up with. We could set a budget, we find out how much it would be for planning and where we would site it.
I think for me, Chair, I think if I was to advise, I would try and identify a suitable space for it to start off with, because that will determine
Yeah.
the size,
Yeah.
the dimensions, the appropriateness,
Yeah.
landowner issues, etc., etc. So I think it ought to be identify the area first, and then we can make the approaches once we know what we're working
I
with.
was just going to say the same thing, maybe
Absolutely.
defer it to another meeting so we can get some information and get some ideas of where it could position. There's quite a nice area, would actually be across from Haddon, on that grassed area up there would be a lovely area.
Okay,
Just
the
as
Land's
one
Garage,
area, yeah.
that top, yeah.
So there is areas that we could identify, but it's just down to cost as well. So.
The thing what excited me about it, I don't know, I'm just going to show my age now, excuse me, is when I used to go with my mum to Co-op on a Saturday. The benches outside the Co-op were full of people just gossiping, meeting, chatting. There's, I think, Bolsover District Council own the land outside Pizza Domino's.
Those
You
two,
were-
apart from the sort of piece of land, the stretch of land where the Aldi sign is, which I think has been licensed or purchased by Aldi, the rest of those two grassed open spaces are Bolsover District Council.
There is an issue with putting seats in there. It's an area that I've been working to try and make into a nice public area, and there is an issue about putting actual seats in there. I think you might be vaguely aware of that. I've spoken to that many people about it, but we'd need to overcome that situation first before we did put some seats in
You know
there.
what the situation is? Do you
I
expand
need,
on
well, I need to look into it a bit further, but there is an issue that some businesses aren't too pleased about seating going into that area, so it's something that we need to look into. And I think Councillor Hughes actually mentioned that he was concerned about antisocial behaviour with having seating in that area as well, so I think that's another thing that we'd have to tackle. Hopefully now with the CCTV cameras in place, that would help with the situation. And I think that Domino's, there's quite a lot of activity in that area now, and we have got the pub across as well, so there is quite a lot of bodies. But again, it is something that I think that we need to identify areas and then bring it back to council.
If we could identify some areas tonight, so we start moving forward and just at areas, so then Steve or ourselves can look into it and start looking at that, then at least we're moving, we're not putting it to another month. So I'd like to look at Domino's, if you can give Steve the information you've got outside Domino's.
So that grassed area in in front of the
Yeah.
Domino's Ashgate sort of.
Well, it's
Yeah.
lit up, it's middle of the
Yeah.
street, it'll be police fire,
CCTV
it's
camera there as well.
CCTV.
Okay.
Alan?
One area is, it's Bolsover District Council land, but one area is outside Wilkinson's. And a few years ago, there was a resident in Clowne, not mentioning no names,
No.
and she got some money being left, and she was prepared to pay for a bench, but it never took off. But like I say, outside Wilkinson's, on that grass piece where the planters are,
Yeah.
the ideal place for it is Bolsover District Council land.
Well, we can look at that. Two
I
seconds.
don't know.
Oh,
No, you're right, go on.
what Natalie said outside Lambs, that's perfect, because when we've done some flowers up there, it's all mossed over, obviously it used to be a nice area, that's benches. But I'm just thinking about Wilkinson's, well dressing there as well, so it'd have to be out of there.
And it's on the slope.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
But that Lambs is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's,
No,
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 it's
no,
all
it's
it.
not
it's glass, it's
No.
paving, but you.
There is already
It's
seating
already
up there.
sits
Yeah.
in there.
Oh,
Well,
it's-
Nobody wants to sit on
Bolsover
it.
District Council's
well,
responsibility.
let's put Lambs down.
Yeah, I've got it, yeah.
Any other suggestions, Natalie?
Well, I mean, he's not brought the report, but here, I mean, if you bring a proposal and, council are happy, if this area, gets developed, this would be fantastic here.
Yeah.
Certainly in the summer as well, and families are out there enjoying it.
I think here you probably don't get much passing trade.
You'd be surprised in the summertime when the kids are out there playing as well, it gets very busy.
Okay.
Mm.
Centre of the village would be better.
I'd prefer to say, well, we can we'll put it down. Yeah. So is there any more places where we think? Is that enough?
I've got 4 to go at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm concerned against, sorry Barbara.
Crossroads, Ashgate, is that where that planter is, that probably going to be moved?
Yes, it will be.
What about there?
Next to where the
Just in.
the greenway sort of issues out
Yeah.
onto the
Yeah.
pedestrian crossing.
Well, between the
Yeah.
entrance to the Greenway and Buckingham's.
Yeah, somewhere along that vista there, yeah.
There's the grass outside Wilkinson's that the well dressing normally goes on.
Yeah.
Is
We've
that
got that one.
Yeah, we've got that one in. Thank you. So on that motion, it's going nowhere that we're not paying £10,000 for the seat. So
Do you want to pass a resolution, or are you just happy for me to go away and come back?
I think we'll pass a resolution that the resolution is that Steve goes away, looks at what land we've got outside Domino's.
I've got 4 areas. Domino's, that sort of grassed area outside there. The grassed area outside Wilco's. The grassed area on the top of the mound next to Lamb's Garage. And then somewhere between the Nags and Buckingham's along that vista there. And
So
I've
for the park,
got Villa Park as well, but I don't know whether you want to.
I'm not, Villa Park to me is a separate issue, so we can tackle Villa Park. What I wanted was something in the middle of Clowne, so when people walk into shops or walking about, instead of just walking straight past each other, they might sit down, and then somebody might come and have a chat with them, where up here, nobody's walking somewhere, whereas they're walking in the street, there's nowhere there for them to mingle. But if we put Villa Park on, but to me, I'd like to keep that as a separate issue. My idea was to keep it in the centre of Clowne.
I think
Leave it on.
all I could say on that, Chair, is obviously there's money in the budget to remodel that area, and if you can go back several weeks, in my original in Clark's report there was a scheme brief for Villa Park that did say about putting extra seating in there and litter bins and changing the knee rail fencing, which is quite rotten now, and to put bow top park fencing in. So
Just, I forgot to mention earlier that if anybody's mobile phone goes off, it's £5 donation to the Freedom Movement. And if it's bagpipes, it's £10.
I've got to move and Chair to look at
Sorry, back to
this.
business, sorry.
Do we include Villa Road, because that's going to be a separate project.
Do you want to leave
It's
Villa
gonna
on or
happen
do you
anyway?
want-
Well, it's up to you, it's up to council.
Yeah, let's leave it on.
Yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sites then that, to sort of have a look at.
Yeah.
Moved by Councillor Walker. I need a
Can I have a seconder, please? Come on, pay attention.
I'll second it.
Councillor Bailey.
All in favour?
Unanimous.
Right then, item 10.2. I'd like Parish Council to look into flower displays through Clowne and consider the purchase of new planters and offer free planters and plants and associated maintenance watering to business owners in Clowne. So I'd like to open that up.
Tied that in with a box.
Councillor Richards, sorry.
Chair, this is something that we're looking at within the events committee at the moment, so I would suggest that it comes as one complete thing, so that we can actually coordinate everything. We've invited Clowne and Bloom to the next meeting. You sent that offer out, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've invited Clowne and Bloom to the next meeting to site flowers around the village, so it could tie in quite well to that item.
Is that an event what you're putting on?
It's part of the terms of reference to the events committee that we look
We had
at.
a discussion at the last meeting about inviting Cloud in Bloom and then Nolly's hands up first.
That's right.
Also, wouldn't it be better to approach businesses to sponsor some of these flower
Yeah.
beds? If we're paying, for the tubs, we could put some free advertising on there and say that this has been sponsored on behalf of such a business, rather than it be a cost constantly to the parish council.
Dan, did you have
As for watering, it's a brilliant idea, because the memorial on Station Hill, there is 2 mine tubs there, and them tubs are sponsored by Penny Hydraulics and Capital Refractory. They sponsor us for plants, and the big tubs, so if they can be watered quite regularly through the summer, it'd be great, because like I say, plants will be in them and they soon dry up. So yeah, watering is a great idea, and local businesses have sponsored them 2 tubs.
Thank you. But I've got a question. How soon are we going to move on this? Because we need to be sorting flowers out.
They're coming to the next meeting.
Next council meeting, or
No, next events.
next meeting, which is.
Been on some minutes.
22nd or something?
You said sorry.
22nd.
This month.
This
No,
So then we'll.
22nd.
Sure, it's sometime.
It's in the
Yeah.
23rd.
Sorry, 23rd.
23rd. Thanks. That's sorry.
Can I just ask as well what happened with these that were going on the lampposts as well, because they look
Yeah,
fabulous going through the village. I think you said you had
We,
a lot of them that you found in storage. Are
Yeah.
they going to go up?
yeah, we spoke about it at the last events committee again. We said that we'd put them up, we'd put them out to tender to Low Road Nursery to actually get them planted, and approach Clowne and Bloom to see what kind of involvement that they wanted to.
There's no issues with lamppost tensions or anything?
Can we just, and I know but I just need hands up,
Oh,
please.
sorry.
I know I'm being a pain, but if we could just keep his hands up when we talk. Now, I think all these are separate issues, Steve will answer them shortly, but I am concerned we need to be ordering some flowers before there's no flowers left, or placing an order, or provisionally placing an order. If you can do that on, will that be agreed on 22nd?
We've already put it out, we're just waiting for it coming back, we'll agree at the next meeting.
Fantastic.
Well, I've already placed the order for the planters, that we've got 3 planters. Low Road have also got 3 planters that we can loan from them, so that'll be 6. The Low Road planters are 7 tier. They were used by Chesterfield Borough Council. They bought their own, they bought some new ones, so they're available to hire. So we will have 6 planters. Then we've got the 32 tubs, but we need the brackets for those. We've already done the lamppost stress testing, but the planters cannot go on those lampposts that have got CCTV because it overloads them apparently, which makes sense. And then obviously we've got the normal beds and things like that we're looking at as well. The tubs that Clowne in Bloom manage and maintain.
Thank you.
Might not be for here, it might be for the events committee, but just a thought, why don't we get nurseries to sponsor the planters? That way they provide plants, they put the plants in, it's in their interest to keep them looking really, really nice. For example, the nursery on Fulton Lane.
I think it's more a business model.
No.
I think that's a good idea what Natalie said about sponsors. So.
Can I just say as well, I bet every parish council in the land has tried that.
Oh, can I get?
No, I was just going to say like that at last events committee like that we had when we discussed the flowers. You had that picture, didn't you? Of what they did. It was like where they done Chester, wasn't it? I mean, I reckon it'd be really good to circulate that between us because like once you see it, you get like what's
Fantastic art.
Yeah.
So, just to address my concern, can the events committee get in touch with people, whether you're picking, if it is Low Road, get in touch with Low Road and see what sort of timescale they need for orders and...
You just got to approve it.
Rob, is it just in centre of town that we're on that with this Clowne in Bloom, or are we going to widen it towards Balva Road and entering off the Cresswell Road as well?
I don't know, Dick Lynch, I don't know what events are up to yet.
That's the reason why we're inviting Clowne in Bloom into the meeting, so that we can actually look at where the flowers are going to be placed throughout the village, not just through the high street.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Thank you, so that's my concerns to address. Is everybody else? So again, we'll let that go to events committee, so we'll defer that to events committee, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so I propose we move that to events committee. Now seconded, please. Oh, we've got a quick Barbara.
Too quick.
That one's no, isn't it?
Quick
enough.
Sorry, who seconded it?
I did.
All in favour? Against? That's it, nice. Thank you. 10.3, I have got some information on this. We'd like to invite Derbyshire Safer Neighbourhood team to a future council meeting regarding parking problems. I will also, we've done this before, and we've also contacted county, and they don't reply, or they don't come. So I'd appreciate it if you've got town councillors, that each councillor sends a letter or an email to Safer Neighbourhood team, expressing the concerns they don't come here, or put it in your ways, put something along those lines, and we would like them to come, because this issue is not going to go away. And there's a gentleman at the end, quite passionate about it. I think we need to offer him a bit of support.
Safer neighbourhoods.
So, can we get, if you're struggling for an email or some contact details from, either drop me a line or Steve, I'm sure, but it's all on social media. So, but I have looked, in fact I got nagged, I'll tell you the truth, I got nagged off a young Scottish lady to start looking at what we could actually do. So I looked at parking around schools. The Highway Code, Rule 243, says you can't park near a school, you can't park anywhere you would prevent emergency services, you can't park opposite or within 10 metres of a junction, you can't park where a curb has been lowered to help a wheelchair user or powered mobility scooters, you can't park in front of an entrance of a property. Now, I thought that was quite clear, so we could get in touch with the police and say you need to be following this up. But it also goes on, although failure to comply with these rules would not itself cause a person to be prosecuted, the Highway Code under the Road Traffic Act, they could use it to establish liability. So I think we need some clarity on that and maybe get that from police. But if anybody else has got, Councillor Richards?
Chair, just going back to your email contact, fallsover.neighbourhoods@pnn.police.uk. You want the email address?
Can you send that to Clark and then
Clark,
Yeah.
I didn't get none of that. I'm going to move away from standing those. I'll ask Mick, do you want to speak on this matter?
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to suspend
Just
standing
need to
order.
vote on suspending standing orders to allow a member of public to speak.